Welcome back. Today, we're traveling all the way back to 1994 to revisit one of the most beloved family sports comedies of the 1990s. Little Giants. Before superhero movies dominated Hollywood, before streaming changed television, there was a small football team, a group of kids who weren't supposed to win, and one coach who refused to give up on them. Little Giants gave us comedy, heart, competition, and one of the most memorable underdog stories of the 1990s. The movie starred Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill as two very different brothers, and introduced audiences to a talented group of young actors who became familiar faces to an entire generation. But now, 32 years have passed. Those kids are all grown up. Some continued acting, some moved behind the camera, some left Hollywood completely, and sadly, we've also lost a few members of the Little Giants family. So today, we're finding out what happened to the cast of Little Giants, then, and now, in 2026. Let's start with the man at the center of the story, Rick Moranis. Moranis played Danny O'Shea, the lovable father and reluctant football coach who creates the Little Giants. At the beginning of the movie, Danny is constantly compared to his older brother Kevin. Kevin is the successful coach. Danny is the guy everyone underestimates. But when Danny's daughter Becky is left out of the football team, he decides to create his own team. And that's where the Little Giants are born. Rick Moranis was already a major star when the movie came out. He had appeared in classics such as Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Little Shop of Horrors. But after the 1990s, Moranis gradually stepped away from Hollywood to focus on his family. His absence made him something of a Hollywood mystery. For decades, fans kept asking, when is Rick Moranis coming back? In recent years, there have been signs of a return to acting, although Moranis has remained very selective. Born in 1953, Rick Moranis is now 73 years old in 2026. And for millions of fans, he will always be remembered as the father who turned a group of kids into the Little Giants. Next up, Ed O'Neill. O'Neill played Danny's older brother, Kevin O'Shea. Kevin is everything Danny isn't: confident, successful, and completely convinced that he knows how to build a winning football team. His rivalry with Danny drives much of the movie, but Ed O'Neill was already a familiar television star before Little Giants. He had become famous as Al Bundy on Married, with Children. Years later, he reached another generation of viewers as Jay Pritchett on Modern Family. That role became another massive success, and earned him multiple award nominations. Unlike some of his young co-stars, Ed O'Neill never disappeared from Hollywood. He continued working steadily in television, movies, and voice acting. Born in 1946, Ed O'Neill is 80 years old in 2026. And after decades in entertainment, he's still one of the most recognizable faces from the movie. Now, here's someone many fans remember immediately: Devon Sawa. Sawa played Junior Floyd, the talented young quarterback who becomes one of the team's most important players. At the time of Little Giants, Sawa was only a child, but he would soon become a major teen star. He appeared in movies including Casper, and later starred in Final Destination. He also became known for films such as Idle Hands and Slackers. Unlike many child actors, Sawa successfully continued working as an adult. He appeared in television series including Chucky, and continued taking roles in film and television. Born in 1978, Devon Sawa is 48 years old in 2026. It's hard to believe that the young quarterback from Little Giants is now approaching 50. Now let's talk about Shawna Waldron. She played Becky O'Shea, Danny's daughter, and one of the most important characters in the entire movie. Becky is talented, smart, and determined to prove that she belongs on the football field. Her character became especially memorable because she refuses to accept the idea that football is only for boys. After Little Giants, Waldron continued acting in television and film. She appeared in projects including The American President and other productions before eventually stepping away from the mainstream Hollywood spotlight. Unlike some of her co-stars, she has maintained a much more private life. Born in 1982, Shawna Waldron is 44 years old in 2026. And for fans of the movie, she'll always be remembered as Becky, the girl who helped prove that the Little Giants could compete with anyone. Now, here's another child star many people remember from the 1990s. Bug Hall. He played Alfalfa in The Little Rascals. But in Little Giants, he appeared as Eddie. Hall continued acting after his childhood roles. He appeared in television shows and films and eventually expanded his work into producing and other areas of entertainment. His career was very different from the typical Hollywood child star story. Rather than becoming a huge mainstream celebrity, he gradually moved toward a quieter career. Born in 1985, Bug Hall is 41 years old in 2026. And for 1990s movie fans, his face remains instantly recognizable. Next, Sam Horrigan. He played Spike Hammersmith, one of the toughest and most memorable kids on The Little Giants. Spike had the attitude, the confidence, and the physical presence that made him stand out. After the movie, Horrigan continued acting. He appeared in television shows and films throughout the 1990s and 2000s. However, he eventually moved away from being a major Hollywood presence. Born in 1981, Sam Horrigan is 45 years old in 2026. His transformation from the intimidating young Spike into a grown man is one that longtime fans may find surprising. Todd Bosley played TJ, another member of the Little Giants team. Bosley was a familiar face in family entertainment during the 1990s. He appeared in television programs and movies while continuing to work as a child actor. As he grew older, he gradually moved away from acting in front of the camera. His career eventually became much quieter than that of some of his former co-stars. Born in 1984, Todd Bosley is 42 years old in 2026. Matthew McCurley played Hannibal, one of the young members of Danny's unusual football team. Like several other young actors in the movie, McCurley continued working after Little Giants. He appeared in television and film projects during his childhood and teenage years. But eventually, he stepped away from acting and chose a more private life. Today, he is far removed from the Hollywood spotlight. And that's one of the biggest differences between the cast we remember from 1994 and the people they became. Sam McMurray played Hank, another memorable adult figure in the story. McMurray was already an established character actor when Little Giants was released. He had appeared in numerous television shows and films, and he continued working steadily for many years afterward. His career includes roles in sitcoms, dramas, and movies. Unlike many child stars, McMurray had a long career that continued well beyond the 1990s. He remains a familiar face to fans of classic American television. Jane Atkinson played Patty, Danny's wife and Becky's mother. Although her role was smaller than those of Moranis and O'Neill, she helped provide the emotional foundation of Danny's family. Atkinson went on to build an impressive television career. She appeared in major productions including House of Cards and Criminal Minds. She also worked extensively in theater. Born in 1959, Jane Atkinson is 67 years old in 2026. And unlike many of the young stars, she continued building a strong career long after Little Giants. And here's a name that brings back serious 1990s nostalgia. Mara Wilson. Wilson was already famous as the star of Matilda and Miracle on 34th Street. While she wasn't one of the main Little Giants players, her era of child star fame represents exactly what made 1990s family movies so special. Wilson eventually stepped away from acting and focused on writing. Today, she works primarily as a writer and performer rather than a traditional Hollywood child star. Born in 1987, Mara Wilson is 38 years old in 2026. Her story is another reminder that not every successful child actor wants to remain in Hollywood forever. When Little Giants was released in 1994, nobody knew that it would become such a beloved part of 1990s childhood. The movie wasn't really about football. Not entirely. It was about believing in yourself. It was about family, friendship, and proving that being underestimated doesn't mean you're incapable. And perhaps that's why the movie still works today. The cast has changed dramatically. Rick Moranis became one of Hollywood's most private stars. Ed O'Neill became a television legend. Devon Sawa successfully transitioned from child actor to adult star. Shawna Waldron stepped away from the spotlight. And many of the young players built completely different lives away from Hollywood. But whenever fans hear the words, Little Giants, they remember the same thing. A group of kids, one unlikely coach, and a football team that nobody believed in. 32 years later, the players may have grown up, but the Little Giants are still winning the hearts of audiences who grew up watching them.